Hi, this is Brad Smith from BeerSmith.com, and in this video I'm going to give you an overview of the new BeerSmith Mobile full app. Many of you may be familiar with BeerSmith Lite, which is our earlier app, which allowed you to do a lot of the features I'm going to show you here, but did not have recipe editing. BeerSmith Mobile adds full recipe editing, including the ability to change equipment profiles, ingredients, just about anything you want. So I'm going to click on My Recipes, for example. I'm going to open up this recipe, which is a Belgian wit. And I can go in here and I can click on the Edit button in the top corner. And now I'm fully editing this recipe. For example, I can click on any ingredient. I can change the amount in that ingredient. I can delete that ingredient. I can save that ingredient to store it permanently in my grains folder, for example. Or I can cancel out. I can add new ingredients by just clicking on one of the buttons up here. For example, if I want to add a hop, let's say I want to add Atlas, I click on that, enter the amount up here, say how I want to use it, and save it. And now it's been added to the ingredient list for this particular recipe. So you can fully change and alter all the ingredients right there on your mobile device. If I go down farther, I can also edit all the profiles for this recipe. So for example, I can go in and edit my equipment profile. If I wanted to change some of the losses in here, perhaps the boil loss or perhaps the boil volume, I can go back out. I could select a different set of equipment that I wanted to use with this recipe from the list of equipment that's saved on my mobile device. I can go back and do the same thing with the mash profile. For example, if I want to bottle this, I can bottle instead of keg. I can just by changing the profile here. So I'm going to bottle with corn sugar, for example, and there you go. So I can change fermentation profiles, mash profiles, equipment profiles, and my carbonation profile, all from right here. I can even scale the recipe size to adjust to a different recipe size or a different set of equipment. For example, if I've downloaded a recipe off the internet, I may want to scale it to match my particular equipment profile. I can go up farther. I can go down farther and record brewing session data. So for example, I can go in here and record actual data. This is also accessible from the timer page for my recipe, and it's going to show me what the estimated pre-boil volume is, for example, and what the measured value is, what the estimated value is, and what the measured value is. And as I'm brewing, I can enter those measured values, and those will all be recorded and saved within the recipe. Going back up, I can also manipulate this recipe. You can see on the top I've got the style guide, which shows the original gravity, bitterness, and color. And I can actually click on any of those and change the value. So for example, if I want to lower the bitterness a little bit, it's going to show me not only the current bitterness, but the new bitterness and also the style range for this particular style. And if I click on Save, it'll actually scale the bitterness down to match that particular value that I just entered. Okay, I'm going to cancel out of this, but that gives you a pretty good idea of what you can do with recipes now in BeerSmith Mobile. I wanted to mention the timer feature while we're here. You can also use the timer feature to show both a boil timer and a mash steep timer for any given recipe. And it'll show you step-by-step instructions on how to brew the data. You can enter your brewing session data right here by clicking on the brewing session data button. It's the easy access to that. And it's also got instructions for fermentation, bottling, aging, and so on, all built in. And of course, when you play the brew day timer, it'll show you step by step how to brew the beer, and it'll play an alarm when you get to each step. So it's easy to remember to add the hops at 20 minutes or something like that. So stepping out of the timer feature now, we're going to go back and look at some additional features at the top level. First of all, you have access to the BeerSmith Cloud, which is at BeerSmithRecipes.com, and that includes your cloud folder on your desktop version. So it's really easy to take a recipe from your desktop version of BeerSmith, drop it into your cloud folder in BeerSmith Desktop, walk out to your garage, open up your mobile device, and open up the cloud folder, and the recipe will be right here. And again, even from the cloud, you can fully edit this recipe. You can change it. You can enter session data, do anything you want to it, and save it, and it'll be saved right to that cloud folder, which is accessible from your BeerSmith desktop version. Going back out to the home, again, we've also got access to the entire BeerSmithRecipes.com recipe database, which lets you search currently over 7,000 recipes that are available and shared online by other brewers. So for example, if I want to find a stout, I can pick one out. I can search while I'm on my mobile device, search the cloud, if you will, search the BeerSmithRecipes.com site, find something that I like, and if I like it, I can, for example, save it locally. So now I've just saved that to my recipes folder. And I can go in back home, and you can see it's here, and I can edit that as well. Or if I want to, just scale it up so that it matches my particular equipment profile and then brew it. Going back to the top, I mentioned profiles. There's equipment profiles, for example, are fully editable. And in fact, I have a whole video on how to set up your own equipment profile, which is really important. I should also mention that you can take equipment profiles and other profiles, as well as ingredients from any recipe, and actually save them directly to your mobile device. So for example, if you've got an equipment profile you've already created on your desktop, you'd like to save it to your mobile device, there's an option from the main view menu. If you go in and view a recipe, for example, you can view it, and you can go and view, for example, this equipment profile, and you can store it by just clicking on that button there. So pretty easy to do. Now, stepping back out again, ingredients, same sort of thing. You can go in and edit any ingredient you want. You have full editing capabilities here to change ingredients, to add new ingredients. You can also save ingredients from any recipe into your set of ingredients here, which makes it very easy to expand your ingredient list. Of course, BeerSmith comes preloaded with a whole set of ingredients and profiles for most common brewing. I wanted to mention under tools, of course, you have a complete suite of home brewing tools here. You can go in, these are standalone tools that make brewing calculations easy. You can go in and enter some data for any of these. For example, if you want to do a infusion step adjustment, or you're using a refractometer, you want to do a refractometer reading adjustment, all those tools are available easily from your mobile device. I have unit converters as well, so if you want to convert, for example, from one weight unit to another, or one volume unit to another, you can just pull out your phone and do it right from here. And finally, under options, I've got for example, options to go all metric. So if I set everything to metric here, now the whole program will work in metric, and in fact, all of your recipes, if I go back and show you a recipe, will be shown now in metric instead of English. So you can see it's all kilograms, for example. So you got a really powerful suite of tools here. There's also help available, some basic help here to help remind you how to do certain basic functions. And then, of course, if you go online to the BeerSmithRecipes.com site, you'll find a full set of tutorials, including this one, on how to how to create a new equipment profile, how to create your first recipe, how to scale recipes. There's a whole suite of things available. So thank you for watching this video. If you'd like to learn more about BeerSmith Desktop or our BeerSmith Mobile, please visit my website at BeerSmith.com.